welcome to class 4, Cooking with Heart Foundational. I am sad this is the last class, so, the good news is you have gotten a plethora of information in the last 4 weeks, and hopefully you've boosted your confidence up so that you are ready to take on in the kitchen some really delicious whole food eating. So, and that's really what we want to encourage and make inspirational. And speaking of inspirational, look who comes in the room.
Yay!
So, Mr. Dan. So, yes, my helper for tonight. So, Dan's going to help me out tonight. So, when I make a mess. So, you should see in your binder some bonus recipes there. Those are recipes that I just couldn't leave out because they're so good. So, and there's like 8-10 more recipes that I'm not going to have a chance to demo, but send me questions. Let me highlight a couple. There's the Bippy Map, the Veggie Bippy Map. That is like, once you get that down, it's easy. It's like 15 minutes once you have rice. Rice is the biggest component, and you can do quinoa instead. And the sauce for the Bippy Map, I just keep in a squeeze bottle, and I use it all the time. It's kind of a soy sauce, rice vinegar, lemon with a little brown sugar sauce. So it really adds, it doesn't have too much kick. You could always add some more sriracha or something if you wanted kick. But it's really nice. It's got a mock fried egg on top, but basically you take the quinoa, the brown rice on the bottom, just a little bit there for your whole grain, your intact grain. And then whatever, I usually pick 4 different colored vegetables, try and get a couple different colors there. I always have the scallions or an onion, because I'm doing my scallions in the Parmesan cheese shaker in the freezer. So I've always got that on hand. I've always got baby spinach. I always have a box of baby spinach in my refrigerator. So that's 2. And then the third one, just whatever's left over. If I have a little cabbage, I might heat up the cabbage a teeny bit. You just want to kind of steam whatever. You could do shredded carrot, or you could cut up carrot really quickly. So you only need to usually cut up like 2 things. You don't need to even steam the spinach, because once the hot rice hits the spinach, and the egg on top, it's going to be enough steamed. So you just put a mock egg on top. You could do a hard-boiled egg too, and then put the sauce, and you've got a really filling meal. So with, packed with veggies, it's half veggies there. And then you got your protein on top, and you got your whole grain there. Some other ones, there's popcorn in the brown paper bag. You can do different seasoning there. It's a really great snack. It's whole grain. Hi, come on in, Beatrice. Hi, come on in. And then there's the fruit ice dessert, which is basically like a fruit ice cream. It really is good. And when I make that for the kids, they want thirds. So it is kind of best if you make it kind of fresh. So if you make it it can freeze, but when you freeze it, the crystals get bigger. So it's just not as smooth. So like ice creamy. So that one's awesome. Let's see, there's other ones pesto. I love pesto. Anybody love pesto? Garlic? Oof. So what I'll do is I'll make that pesto sauce. It's made with kale and walnuts, which are super healthy. And I usually do substitute nutritional yeast for the Parmesan cheese, but if you're not ready to do that, that's okay. It still is very heart healthy. And then usually I take the pesto and I put it, because I don't, pesto, you only need a little bit with whatever you're doing. So I usually take an ice cube tray, and then I freeze the rest and pop it out, so that I can add it to my eggs, my sandwich, my whatever. Let me see if I have my ice cube tray here. Sometimes I do. I don't see it there. So I have a small ice cube tray that I use for my pesto, so that I can just pop out. So those are some that are coming to mind there. There's a lentil and spinach one that uses canned lentils, and it's really super quick. So look through the bonus recipes, ask me any questions. And I do have the gift for tonight for the week of meals, and I'll get that to you guys on the virtual. But notice what I did is most of the meals are coming from the classes. So a lot of them come from the foundational one, but some of them come from the diabetes too. So you'll see it. I said CWH, Cooking with Heart, and then put F for foundational, D for diabetes, and C for cancer. So most of the recipes are coming from things from the class. Now, my My intent isn't for you to copy this and eat like a week exactly like this, but instead it just helps you see the framework so you can pick out some meals and go, oh, now you'll notice, like I said in some of them, like a tablespoon or 2 tablespoons of nuts. What I did is I made sure that you had 20 milligrams of protein minimally. I don't think we talked about in this class. I talked about in another class about protein needs. And we usually overdo protein, but with the plant focus, a lot of people are concerned with protein. And what we do know, I just want to let you know, is that your body can't absorb, no matter how much muscle building you're doing or how big you are. We find that you can only at one sitting absorb 30 milligrams of protein is the max. So we really want to get about 20 is good for a female. For an average female, it comes out to be 0.8 grams of protein per kilogram. Now, I know we don't think in kilograms, but that's what they teach us in dietetic school, so that's in my brain. But so that's the minimum. So if you want to kind of calculate, you could go up to 1 gram of protein per kilogram, but we really don't jump. Even if you're trying to put on muscle, the main thing is you got to get, in the protein at the minimum level, not a super dose level, and just calories and work out. Really, that's what, stimulates the muscle protein. So you'll notice on the menu, I've said I wanted to make a calculation so that we get minimum 20 grams of protein in there in a plant-based. So I do have 1 fish meal. I don't have any animal chicken in there. You're welcome to add that. Again, I just wanted to show you that it can be done with plant. I'm not trying to say you should never have animal. Okay. So, okay. All right.
Question.
Yeah.
What is a mock egg?
The mock fried egg, it just means that we didn't put a lot of oil and,
Okay.
it's just a little bit, kind of like I've taught you with the paper towel or yes. So yeah, I call that the mock.
Okay.
So, okay, so let's hop over to the slides. Okay, well, the good thing is I don't put a lot of words in my PowerPoint, if you notice, so hopefully you'll see the pictures. So, okay, I'll try and act them out maybe, okay? So, okay, for our quote for today is to change our eating habits, we must learn to eat mindfully, be more aware of chewing and tasting what we eat so that the brain can register the incoming nutrients. And there's actually research that has come out that says that if we rush through eating, that our cortisol levels go up. Anybody surprised by that? I'm not. So how have we evolutionarily eaten? We've eaten sitting down in a community. So yeah, so we need to slow down. So we're going to do a mindful eating exercise. So, okay, your why. I just want to review today and just, get planted in your brain, why you're here. So, and what your big why is, what changing your eating is going to bring you. Okay. Yes, delicious new foods that are kind of fun to make and you're going to discover new things, but I know it's more than that. Okay. So what is it going to bring you? More energy? Is it going to be able to, so that you, don't have to worry about, heart disease, put it off longer, so that you can, go around the world traveling, or you can keep up with your grandkids, or you can see your grandkids graduate and, be in good health, or host your family Thanksgiving get together and prepare the whole meal yourself for the rest of your life. So, what is your big why? So, okay.
To bring down my bad cholesterol.
Okay, bring down, but what happens then, Julie, when you bring down your bad cholesterol? When it's fantastic and your cardiologist says, what'd you do? Oh, this is great, keep it there. So then you need motivation to keep going. So, okay, awesome. Okay, we're going to talk about a really key concept called calorie density. And it's a way of thinking about food that we don't have to calorie count. Yay! So I don't recommend calorie counting and haven't done it for many, many years. So it's much easier. You end up with actually better meals. So, and it's easy to determine if your eating is going to result in weight gain, weight loss, or maintaining good health. So how do I know if a food has high or low density? Okay, it's high in water, high in fiber, and it has bulk. Now that's going to be low calorie density foods. So what food group is going to be high in water, high in fiber, and have bulk? Vegetables, exactly. So those are low calorie. So it's kind of like, I like to think of it like getting a bargain. Okay, I like a bargain. Okay, I'm a Walmart shopper and a TJ Maxx. And so you get more for your calories when you do low caloric density. So here's a chart you have in your binder that is really useful. I don't want you to memorize it, but it'll make sense as we go through it. I know it's pretty small on the screen here, but this is food groupings by calorie density. So the lowest one you see are vegetables, and these are the non-starchy vegetables. And then our fresh fruits, whole fresh fruits. And then we get into the starchy vegetables and some whole grains. And then the beans, and then some non-fat dairy, and then we just start creeping out of that green and get into some seafood, and then we get into some dried fruit and things like that, and go on up, and you can see at the top there is the oils. Okay, so that's by caloric density. So, okay, so let's think about this. Let's process this. So if I'm frying a food, is it going to increase or decrease the caloric density? And it's going to increase the caloric density. Okay, it increases it 3.5 times on average. So if you take zucchini and make it fried, 3.5 times more caloric density. Okay, so potato, French fries, 3.5. Now, what about dehydrating a fruit? Because you're taking out the water. Five times. 5 times. I'm not saying don't do dried fruit, but I'm just saying be aware that when you're popping those raisins like crazy, I'm fine with raisins like in a salad to give it that punch of sweetness, but you got to know that that's calorically dense 5 times. Okay. So, okay, we're going to do a quick, let's get back to here because I want to play a game. So I need a volunteer here in the room. Who wants to volunteer? I promise it'll be fun. Okay, come on, Naomi. Come on. Okay, so I have got a tray of different foods. And okay, we're gonna pretend we're like on Price is Right or something.
Okay.
Okay, so tick tock, tick tock, tick tock. Okay, so you guys, let me face my camera down here so you can see what I've got here. So, okay, here's the foods that we have there, and Naomi is going to put them in order from lowest caloric density to highest caloric density. So remember, what are the three, audience help her, what are the 3 things that she's looking for lower caloric density? Fiber and bulk. Okay, awesome. So, okay.
So I'm doing.
Audience can help. Okay. Oh, you don't know. Okay, you have to tell them what you have.
Oh, okay. Okay. So we have some broccoli. We have an orange, potato, some dried oatmeal.
Okay, let's pretend that's real oatmeal, like made up oatmeal.
Oh, like it's been okay. Got it. And we got some chickpeas. We have some vegetable oil.
Yeah.
Some walnuts and then some cookies. So Oreos specifically. Right. So I'm gonna put oil way here, and then cookies, and then let's see. Okay, I'm gonna put these up here for a second. I'm gonna guess broccoli is way down here, and the orange probably here, and then nuts are gonna be like. The potato is pretty starchy. Like this, you think?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Are we sure? Are we sure it's not like this? I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm going with this over here.
Good.
Okay, so we got chickpeas and oatmeal. Do we agree with these 4 right now?
Yeah. The potato first and then the chickpeas.
So would you put the nuts like this? Okay, and then chickpeas? I'm thinking oatmeal like that, maybe.
Yeah, I am too.
You think the oatmeal here, your oatmeal here,
Made
or
up oatmeal, so it's got the water.
it's got water in it? And then these are, so these, and these are fresh. So these are gonna, I think we keep these here, right?
And there's the potato and the beans behind it.
You think like this?
Okay, and we're all learning, guys, so there's no wrong answer. So.
Which one?
I put the cookies in your pocket and bring them to the bathroom.
I think I'm gonna, I don't know. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about some of these in the middle.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
You grade it. You grade us.
No, we're all learning. So, okay, so broccoli, yes, broccoli is the lowest caloric density. That just has 128 calories per pound. So keep that in mind, just 128. We hop to the orange, yes, that has 211. Now that's not orange juice, that's just the full
The
orange.
actual orange. Okay.
So then oatmeal, yes, 325. So we're already almost 3 times the broccoli. So baked potatoes next with $4.95. $4.95.
Because
And
of the
then-
water content.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. And red beans, chickpeas is 550. So it's just a little more than the baked potato. So the beans are. So they're kind of close. The nuts, Oreos come next.
Really?
Yeah,
Okay.
Oreos are, now we're not talking
That's
about what
healthier
I'd
than
recommend,
nuts.
but 2,197 we're at
Wow.
per pound. Calories per pound, 2,197 compared to 135. So the walnuts are 2,600, 2,600. So, and then the oil is 4,000 compared to 128.
Wow.
So any surprises there? Yeah. Okay. So great job, guys. So this is, it's a really good guide, and we're going to continue on with what this means with eating. So I do want to show you a couple more things. So here, I know you were wondering why I had a chocolate bar. Okay. So these are the same calories. Okay. But different caloric density. Okay. So which one has lower caloric density? The apple. So when you eat them, they're the same calories, but which one is going to hold you over longer? The apple by far. Okay. So just keep that in mind. Okay. One more I want to show you. So I've got, I don't know if you can see the lights kind of bright there. I have baby carrots. So in both. This is kind of like a half a cup, and this is maybe 2 cups, almost 3 cups over here. So these are the same caloric density because they're the same item, but they're different calories, okay? And I don't care about calories. I don't want you to stop here because you're going, oh, I'm counting calories. I want you to just eat until we're going to talk about it, till just full. Is kind of what we want to do, but we'll talk more about that. So those have the same caloric density, whereas the chocolate bar and the apple have different caloric density. Okay, so let's go back to sharing. So I've just got some more slides. So okay, so satiety. So satiety, that is an important concept for us to know. So it's the physical feeling of being full or satisfied. So when we think of satiety, those foods that are going to give us the most satiety, are they going to be the high caloric density or the low caloric density?
No.
The low caloric density. They're going to give us the most satiety. So a fascinating fact is they've done studies and looked at the weight of food that people tend to eat. And the weight of food tends to be pretty consistent over time. And a trend we kind of see, I wouldn't say this is like totally like for every person, but 3 pounds a day of food is what most people eat on average. So if you're eating high caloric density foods, 3 pounds, are you going to have more or lower calories than somebody with low caloric density foods that are 3 pounds? Okay, if you're eating high caloric density foods, 3 pounds, and then you have low caloric density, 3 pounds, who's going to eat more calories?
High.
By far. Yeah. So that's where like the Oreo, you can start counting calories, but you're going to eat a lot of them. So to really satisfy, 3 pounds of Oreos is going to add up really quickly. So, we kind of talk about a little tie into, the diet problem, where we follow these diets, quote unquote. And, the problem is our hunger is guiding us. And we're trying to follow this program that is telling us to ignore our hunger. Well, guess what? Who's going to win out eventually? The hunger, because we're programmed for that. That's a survival mechanism. So now our problem really isn't hunger. What's happened, if you think about it, over the last 50, 75 years is we've changed the food supply. Okay? Kind of the 50s, remember, there was that potato chip thing where I bet you can't eat just one, okay? It was created because it was like a novelty, potato chips. So, but now, oh my goodness, that's like, we're living in that now. So foods like that are calorically dense and we can't moderate. People don't really get it. We cannot moderate in these foods that are ultra processed. Okay, we are programmed to overeat them. So, okay, so let's kind of use our skill again, and I'm going to show you 2 foods. Both of them have 100 calories, but they have different satiety. So I want you to just hold your answer for a second, but I want you to think about which one has more. Has higher satiety, okay? So they're the same calories, but which one is going to fill you up better, okay? So 1, 2, 3. Can you see? Okay, these guys get 2 soy chicken nuggets or 1.5 cups of lentil soup. Okay, so that was easy. Same calories. And we even have a vegetarian kind of chicken nugget thing, vegan, a soy one. But the lentil soup is going to really fill you up. Same calories. Okay. So in medical school and dietitian school, they teach you about ghrelin and CCK and leptin and things like that and the hormones. You don't need to know that. You need to know satiety and low or high caloric density, guys. That's the key to follow. That's what our bodies are going to follow. So water, fiber, and bulk is what we want to follow. Okay, so now, water, fiber, bulk. Naturally, they're going to have lots of nutrients in them. So that's the cool thing there. So, okay, let's get a little tougher. I'm going to give you another challenge. These 2 foods are 800 calories. Okay, so I want you to tell me which one's going to fill you up more. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Okay, we have cashews, 1 cup, or 6 baked potatoes with salsa. Potatoes, yeah. Actually, in studies, potatoes are one of the most satiety-filling foods. It's what you put on them. It's the butter, the honey, the cheese. Okay? Sour cream, yes. So, but if you put non-fat Greek yogurt, or if you put salsa, or if you put marinara sauce on there, those would be things. Just soup on it, chili, okay, bean chili.
But the cup of cashews, that's far more than the serving size.
Yes, it is. It is.
Quarter cup, isn't it?
Well, more like a tablespoon or 2. It depends.
Yeah.
Again, it's one of those things. So that depends. So yes, now cashews, most people are going to say, but if you're sitting there and mindlessly eating, you could get up to a cup, especially those, with all their sugar and salt on them. So, and here, for nuts are super healthy, but they are easy to get carried away with. So Some people, what they do is they have nuts in their salad or in their dishes rather than having it as a, separate snack. So if you find that you have trouble just keeping to 1 or 2 tablespoons, I actually do my nuts. I have little containers. So I just grab the container and go. So I don't ever go into the bag. So that's one way that I keep the portion size. But the other way that I've heard is very successful and people have reported is just that they allow themselves to have nuts, but it has to be in a dish. So, okay, awesome. Okay, so here, these two here are the same protein and fat and carb ratio. Because some people say, oh, it's the ratio, this magic ratio. I need to have the protein the same. Well, you know what? These are the same. Okay, what? It's 40 gummy bears or gummy bears, however you say them. Okay, and a 2-pound pineapple. Okay, the 2-pound pineapple is the same carbs as the 40 gummy bears. Okay.
I do gummy bears. Let's stick with the pineapple.
Yeah.
Pineapples should be better.
Yeah, that's gonna fill you up. It's got a lot of fiber. I mean, it's sweet, it's delicious, it's moist, it's really good. So, equal calories doesn't equal satiety, guys. And that's what we've always there's been this underlying assumption. So, okay, so going back to this chart, if you want to look at your chart in your binder, so this is, again, a guide. I don't want you to memorize the numbers there. And actually, you're going to have trouble finding the numbers like for specific foods. So, no, we're looking at the chart with the, let's see, can you get, what page?
Yeah,
Is it before that chart?
Yes.
It's before. It's what? Okay,
Okay.
it's the page before. Yeah, that chart there. Okay, again, that one is just to give you a guide. I don't want you to memorize it, but anything in the green there, that is going to be for health. Those are the things we want primarily to be eating out of if we want to be eating for health. Now, if you want to eat for weight loss, you want primarily in the first and the second. So, because those are the lowest caloric density. So those are vegetables. Those aren't the starchy vegetables. Those are the vegetables that are very high in fiber and water and bulk. So, and then the fruit there. We find that if you eat out of the first two primarily and add in a little bit of activity, you can lose, you're definitely going to be losing weight. And in those first 4 or 5 categories there, if you're pulling the green ones from, you're going to be eating for health. And if you go outside of there, you're going to be gaining weight. And if you want numbers, we say 550 is the healthiest. And this is even from the American World Cancer Society organization, whatever. I've seen the numbers. They're all right around 550 for the healthiest. That's no weight gain or loss, but the healthiest is right at 550. So it's a really easy way of getting great, nutrients for what you're eating. Now, if you want to lose weight, you need to go 500 or less. And 600 is where you kind of see the creeping on slowly weight. And when you get up to 700 and 800, you're in definite trouble. So that's where you're definitely gaining weight.
Is this for a meal?
No, this is the overall average.
Okay.
So, and I wouldn't recommend you crank the numbers, but just kind of, and I'll show you actually in a moment kind of how to plan meals, how to take this and use it in practice. Okay, but this is the concept. Okay, so you're learning kind of the classroom concept, and we're going to apply it in just a second in real case scenarios. I want to share a study though first, a study that was done where they had people, they split them into 5 groups, and they had them eat an item and then eat a buffet ad lib. So the item they had eat, there was 1 of 5, and that one was a salad that was just 50 calories. So it was made up of mostly vegetables in that first group. And then the second group, they had doing just double that salad, same salad, but double. So it was 100 calories, but still coming from that first food group there on your chart. Then they had one that was called a high calorie density salad. And that one is like the bacon bits and the croutons and the sunflower seeds and, all those things, the toppings that are very high in calories. And then they had one that was a bowl of vegetable soup. And the last one was fruit juice. It was a 100-calorie fruit drink. Okay. So knowing what you know right now, which group do you think ate the least when they went to the buffet? Now, they weren't told anything else. They weren't told that this was like a food study or anything like that. So which group do you think ate the least?
Salad. The second group salad.
Okay, you're close. The number one was the bowl of vegetable soup. Number two was 100-calorie vegetables made from that first food group. So the soup added water to it. So we got the water in there. So number three was the salad just with a 50. So they didn't get as much fiber to start off with. And the highest one, the worst one was the 100-calorie fruit juice. Okay, because it just had water, but nothing else. Okay. So what do these results mean? Well, how can we put those into practice? Well, the secret is to dilute. When you know you're going to have a higher caloric density item, you need to dilute it at the meal. Okay, you want a higher than a 1-to-1 ratio. Okay, so let's practice. So if I have, the pasta here, the 4 cups, the caloric density is 563. Okay, that's a little high for health. Remember, we said 550 is good for health. What if I want to take it down for weight loss? What do? Make it into a soup. Okay, that's a great idea. Okay, so here, I like that, Beatrice. Here, what we did is we added broccoli, a cup of 1 broccoli. So, but yes, I like that actually better, Bernice. So, and then if we add another one, it goes all the way down to 350 caloric density. We're still going to transfer to real life. This isn't quite real life because we're not going to eat 2 cups of raw broccoli and 2 cups of raw cooked pasta. Okay, but you see how that works. We're diluting it out to get it down. Okay, so if we want to use this in practice, we want to eat foods with lower caloric density first. So eating the salad, the soup first, the vegetable, that's a non-starch vegetable, eating that first so it starts to fill you up. You can also just get in a practice of starting your meals with a soup or a salad. And if you've ever been to a spa that's known for health, I know what they're going to do. They're going to sit you down, have you have a meal where you slow down, where you have a soup or a salad first. They're going to have nice decoration at the table. They're going to bring the main dish out after, and they're going to keep the meal going slow so that you fill up, so that you have that salad or that soup has filled you up. They very likely will bring something to finish the meal, but it'll be small, beautiful, delicious, but it won't overstuff you. Okay, so it's a practice that's done in health settings that are serious about getting people to lose weight and get healthier, starting with something that's got the water, fiber, and bulk in it. Yes.
So, for drinking water in advance of your meal as well?
Yes, yeah, drinking water definitely will help. And it is definitely recommended because sometimes we think we're hungry and we're thirsty. So Penny's asking about drinking water. Will that help? Yes, because you want to make sure you're hydrated and that you're not eating instead to fill your thirst. So yeah, that's a great idea. So yes. Awesome. Okay, so and if we want to build a meal, then here's kind of just to take you through. You don't have to do this, but again, I want to show you how you apply the concepts. You can ask yourself, okay, what non-starchy vegetable am I wanting? Okay, remember that's the first food group then there on the chart. So are you going to start with a small salad or cup of vegetable soup? Are you going to use that as your practice? If no, then we need another non-starchy vegetable or whole fruit, okay? See how we're building a meal that's half vegetable and fruit, and we're getting it in the low caloric density categories. And then what starchy vegetable or whole grain carb are you going to have? So we're going up now a little bit. Are you going to have a lean protein? So what lean protein are you going to have? And what herbs and spices would bring up the flavor quotient of the meal? And if your goal is weight, an option is a small, if you're at your goal weight, okay? So if weight loss is not your goal, then a small amount of seeds, nuts, avocado, a splash of high polyphenol oil to add flavor to the meal. And optional to include a non-fat dairy, okay? So do you see how you can build your meal out that way? Okay, so you don't have to sit down and do this, but start mentally kind of taking note. Are you doing this? Because this will bring you nutrition, health, delicious, and you can easily knock out whether weight loss is your goal or weight maintenance or health or weight gain, if weight gain was. Okay, you've got the equation there. Okay. So let's go into mindless eating real quick because that's really important. So here is what I call the mindful eating cycle. So it's meant to show you all the things that go into our decisions to eat, okay? And so the biggest one there is the why. The why. Why are you eating? That's the most influential. Are you stressed? Okay, can you see it there? Kind of, yeah. Okay, are you bored?
Yes.
Okay. Is it just time to eat? You're just, yeah, a lot of us will. And there's, again, you can start there, but then we're going to move into, are you hungry? Okay. Cue, others are eating. You can see food. That's a visual cue. Okay. Celebrating. Okay. Again, that might be a reason why that you're eating. And just start being aware. Don't judge. Be aware. Okay. Be curious. Now, all these here, the pictures and the symbols here represent mindless, which is not what we want to do, eating instead of mindful, being aware. So what are some ways that we can listen to our hunger and fullness and eat mindfully and avoid these things? Can you think of any principles that kind of you're thinking of by looking at these pictures here? Well, they're eating, the boy is eating in front of the computer screen. Okay. And I know these things are easy to happen. They happen in my household too. So, but you're mindlessly eating. So what's going to happen when you're mindlessly eating? Yeah, you're ignoring your hunger signals. So you're eating what's there, hand to mouth, okay, fork to mouth. So, setting some guidelines for yourself about eating. I don't eat in front of the screen. I don't eat with my phone. I don't eat reading. I'm going to pay attention to the food, and we're going to do a mindful eating exercise in a moment. Okay, and I know we can't avoid these 100%, but again, just being aware and allowing some time to, after we have the exercise today, hopefully you'll enjoy and look forward to actually connecting with your food and having a mindful eating experience. So, okay, so now some of you already flipped to the hunger scale. So now this is something very commonly used in the nutrition world, and you don't have to commit it to memory. It's really easy to kind of figure out. Do I use it? Yes, but I don't record my numbers. I am always paying attention to my hunger signals. Am I hungry? How hungry am I? I know that, okay? And I know when I don't like it, too hungry. So, and too full, I don't like. So, so rate your hunger right now. Where are you right now? We want to be a 4 to a 6. That's the range we want to be. We don't want to be getting too hungry when we get into the 3, we're going to eat fast. We're going to eat too much because our body signals, the hormone signals, don't click in for 20 minutes. Now, the volume in our stomach clicks in pretty quickly. Okay, that's neurological. But hormonal is your small intestine that is reading, did you eat carb, protein, fat? It's reading more the components, and that takes 20 minutes to kick in. So that's why you bump up in 20 minutes, okay? And it varies a little bit according to what you ate. You'll find some things you bump up a lot, and some things you just bump a little, and then you go down quickly from there. So, and 6, we want to eat that's why we eat until just starting to be full. You've disappeared the hunger and you're starting to feel the fullness, but you're not solidly full because you're going to be in 20 minutes. especially if you're eating the plant-focused whole food that we're recommending, you will bump up a good amount. So we don't want to be, you might get to the kind of beginning of 7, but we don't want to be fully into the 7, getting over to the 8. That's too full, okay? And most likely you're going to eat in another 2 to 4 hours. And if you're up in the 8, you could go longer than 4 hours, okay? So it just, so starting to pay attention to your hunger and your fullness, being uncomfortable with too full, but comfortable with a little bit light fullness. And actually, in Okinawa, Japan, they have a culture where it is honored to eat till 80% full. That it's just part of their culture. And there's a saying that goes something like, when you're eating, 8 parts are for health, and the last 2 parts are for the doctor. Okay? So if you eat up into there, you're really looking at health problems. So, okay. So behavior change, it's hard. So, you're here trying to understand, be curious about it. I recommend not trying to do some of these things shouldn't be done cold turkey. You can't just try and willpower and strong power through it. You need to understand what's going on, why you're eating, be aware what's triggering you, what's behind the why, okay? Is it social pressure? Is it visual cues? Is it your schedule? Is it convenience? Is it you're not planning to have healthy options and you need to work on the planning end of things? Are you bored? Okay. I had one gentleman in class, he's like, I eat at 7 o'clock every night. I said, okay, but that's really not a healthy kind of routine. He's like, I have everything else to do. I'm like, okay, we got to work on that. Okay. So I can think of some other things we could do at 7 o'clock at night. But yeah, so start being aware. So check in with your hunger, scale. I highly recommend, if you're not ever done this, that you just do it for 3 days. Good. Just do a pilot run for 3 days where you set reminders on your phone or set stickies in the kitchen and just, how hungry am I? How full am I? Just those 2 questions, and just keep going at those and be aware. So, okay. So in order to be more mindful, you got to slow down. So, and that's a hard thing to do, to break a habit if you're really used to just plowing through your eating. So here's a couple different ideas for that. First, put your fork down between each bite. Okay, try that. May work, may not. Okay, you can take a sip of water between each bite. You can take a breath, just a deep breath. There's nothing magical. It's not going to burn calories, but it slows you down and it really helps you bring your mind to the present. You can also take, okay, let's say you're sitting down and you're thinking, okay, I am hungry. Teresa said, make sure I'm hungry. I'm hungry. You put your food on your plate, then cut it in half. Put a line down the center, half on each side. Eat half, put your fork down, and then ask, how hungry am I now? Am I still hungry? And if you are, divide that in half. This is a way of getting you to slow down. And then, so you got to at least do that 4 times before you finish the plate. So, you don't have to do that forever, but it's just a way of starting to build a routine to pay attention. So, okay. So just, trying to understand that we've got internal triggers and external triggers, and you might have both going on. So, what triggers you to mindlessly eat? Internally, it's our thoughts, our emotions, it could be our physical hunger and fullness. And then the external is, the clock, the time it is, you're seeing the food, you're driving by a fast food place that you frequent, so you might need to change your route. Social pressure, family, all those things. Remember self-compassion, because this is about awareness first. And not until you're aware are you going to be able to make some changes. Okay, so looking here's our action steps. I want you to start thinking about that. Today we're going to do some delicious soup recipes, so you might want to try one, or maybe you got one that you can just use. Try out 3 days of the mindful eating using that kind of scale. You don't have to exactly use a 10-point. If you want to, that's fine. You know yourself. Eat 1 meal a week mindfully. We're going to do that experience here in a moment. Eat a vegetable first at dinner meal. It fills you up. sit in a new location, away from your computer and TV, maybe just a different chair facing a different way, just one meal a day. Pay attention to what is your reason for mindless eating, all those things we talked about. Okay, so there's some others on your action sheet, so in your binder. Okay, I'm going to get you back here. So, and we're going to do a mindful eating. So those of you at home, go ahead and get 2 chocolate chips or 2 raisins. So, and those here. Okay, are you ready? Okay, let me get my camera here. Okay, yeah, that's perfect. You guys can see me good. So you guys get your 2 raisins, 2 chocolate chips, and you guys get to close your eyes. Okay, so put your hand out and close your eye. Okay, now get your hand. Okay, don't look. Don't look. Okay, I know. The anticipation is killing you. Yes. Here we go. Okay. Okay. So those of you here, keep your eyes closed. I want you to go ahead and unwrap what is there. You probably have guessed what's there because you're probably smelling it, but slowly unwrap it. So I'll show you guys what they got. Okay, so they're unwrapping theirs. So, okay, so once you have it unwrapped, just keep your eyes closed, and I want you to take a deep breath. So those of you at home, just go ahead and close your eyes. You've got your 2 raisins, your 2 chocolate chips, and just take a deep breath in because we want to focus on what we're doing here. Keep your eyes closed and breathe out. And go ahead and take one of the chocolate chips or raisins, or if you're here, take whatever we got here and just bring it to your nose. Don't open your eyes, bring it to your nose, smell it, and take it down. Okay. So I want you, I think everybody here has figured out what we have. So you can go ahead and open your eyes, that's fine. So what I want you to do before we start actually into the eating of it, there's actually three kind of phases to eating, I like to say. 3 things you want to connect with. First, you want to connect with the food. Like, where'd the food come from? How did it get here in my kitchen? Who grew it? How did it, what kind of preparation happened to it? I mean, appreciating the food, Mother Nature. Hopefully it's recognizable in that way. So just connecting with it and taking a moment to recognize that. That's one connection, connecting with the actual food. Second thing is connect with your body. And I want you to just pay attention first to your hunger or fullness. That's the physiological, we call it. So do you have hunger? Do you have fullness? Where are you? Do you have emotions going on? Okay, those are important things. So connect with them and just be aware, okay? This is not time to get upset and try and change and all that. Just be aware. Okay, I'm a little frustrated or stressed or angry or happy or, what is it? But be aware. Connect with your internal. Okay, so then the last thing is we gotta have pleasure with the food. Eat it and enjoy it. So what I want you to do is I want you to take one of the chocolates or raisins, and I want you to just take it up, and I want you to take a small bite, or 1 chocolate chip or raisin. You can put the whole thing in. And I want you to just hold it in your tongue. Don't swallow it. Just hold it there. Take 1 bite and hold it. And I want you to watch it, feel it melt. Turn it over in your tongue. I know it's hard. So if you've got the raisin, go ahead and bite down on the raisin and feel it like gush open. Now go ahead and slowly swallow and follow it to the back of your throat and as far as you can go down your esophagus to your stomach. Just follow it and enjoy that, the taste buds being covered.
Chocolate.
I think Julie ate all hers.
No, I didn't get one.
I know. Did you not?
I went to the restaurant.
Oh,
Okay.
I'm sorry. I was like, Julie took a whole bite. No, Julie went to the bathroom, so I missed her. Okay. So, okay. So now, okay. So you did one, what we call a mindful eating. So let's eat how we normally eat. Okay. So the other chocolate chip or the other raisin, you guys will take that and we're just going to take another bite. So I want you to take it up, take a bite and swallow. That's it. Don't choke, but swallow. Well, just do it quick. Okay, so we did two different ways of eating. So we did a mindful eating and a mindless eating and kind of. So, you know, reflect on them. Which one did you enjoy the most? Both. Both. Yeah, okay, they have the chocolate here. They like it both. Mindful. Okay. So think about what if you were able to incorporate that, even a portion of that, into your eating regularly. Imagine how food would come alive.
It helps to chew slowly and fit them well because you savor the flavors. I've done it in the last few years, like before.
Yeah. Okay, Carolyn sharing that she has for the last few years just chewed slowly and savored her food and really finds it a much more enjoyable experience. So
Even with chocolate.
I know. It's pretty hard with chocolate to go slow. I know, I agree, Dorothy. So, okay. So think about what if you paid attention and connected. Those are three things to connect. Now, I know we can't do it all the time. I mean, I eat standing up occasionally, I eat on the go occasionally, but I do try to sit down. And what if you even like put candles on? I've started doing that since I went to France, because I'm telling you, in France, they do a completely different eating experience than we do. So they have china and they have napkins, cloth napkins, and they have candles and they have the whole, and it's really fun to do it. And I've been doing it with the girls. So can't do that all the time, but you know, it's really fun to do it every once in a while. So on a regular basis to devote. So think about that because it really does help you. And we do have research coming out that actually there might be some benefit for digestion and stress hormones and things like that. But definitely a much more pleasurable experience. You appreciate the food much more. You're going to get more out of the eating experience. It's a gift that we're missing essentially. So yes, Dorothy.
One person.
One person?
Yeah.
For
It'd be a lot of fun with one person.
what? Yes. Well, then.
I mean, you know.
Okay. Well, then I think you need to invite somebody, Dorothy. So.
So try to help select a week or so. I normally just have it on a paper plate, but whenever you did my kitchen, I got it's just nice. And it's nicer.
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Carolyn said that she's been doing the china, and I agree. So I've been trying to do that more often. Nicer plates. Yeah. You can throw them in the dishwasher, so there's no extra washing. So yeah. So think about it. Maybe experiment. Even if you're like, no, I don't think so. Try it out. See, pilot run it. See if it works. And you know, I'm not talking every meal. But if you can at least try it out and, you know, you'll get benefit, I promise you. So, okay, so time to get going with our soups and chocolate. So, okay, guys, we haven't been able to get, so we're going to be creative here and we're going to go to demo here. Yeah, oh, yes. Okay. I didn't give them go ahead to eat the rest of the chocolate. So, yes. Okay, so let's see, you guys can see here, I think we're gonna be okay for the most part here. Okay, we're gonna make creamy asparagus soup. So, asparagus, and you can substitute, if you look at the recipe, you can substitute broccoli if you want to, because I know asparagus isn't in season all the time. So, let me grab here here we go. So if you look at the recipe for the creamy asparagus soup, I know it, you know, the soup recipes look like a lot of ingredients, but they're not a lot of prep. There's a lot of seasonings to them. That's what is happening. So we only have to chop onion, celery, okay? And those you could do a day ahead, honestly. You could cut a couple days ahead, you know? And a red pepper, and you can do that a couple days ahead. So those are the chopping that you have to do, and then the asparagus. And so let me, a little bit about the asparagus. So here, I don't know if you guys can see, I just took a flower vase and put my asparagus in because it actually is best just stored in water like that with a top or a plastic on top. So that works really well. You just change the water every couple days. It doesn't, asparagus isn't going to last like a week and a half.
In the refrigerator or?
Yeah, the refrigerator. Yeah, so it'll last better that way. And okay, so I've already rinsed these spears, but I wanted to kind of, there's a little mystery sometimes with asparagus. So you've got the woody part here, and that is really only good for soup, okay? So if you want to save it for stock or something, that's great, but no cook is pretty much going to be using this woody, it's called the woody part. And if it's fresh, to know it's fresh, you don't want any slimy here. If it's slimy here, you got to dispose of it. So, but we just want to let it break where it breaks. Okay, so it will break. Don't be afraid. You're like, did I do it right? It will break where it needs to break. So you can see these are all breaking a little bit different. So then we were left with this. For this soup, if you want to take a couple off and serve with just the spears to make it look nice on top, you could do that. But we're just going to cut these all up into small little pieces and have them there. So we've got our asparagus there. So really easy. Okay, so we're gonna get our pot going here. So let me go over here. What's that?
I like that.
Yes, it is a super great pot. So, okay, so this is the first time I've done this for an in-person because I changed the soups because I just wanted even a little more options in this one. So we've got the stock. We're going to do the stock in there. We're going to add, let's see, I think we're adding stock and then the onion, celery, garlic, red pepper, and cashews. I'll talk a little bit about cashews. So has anybody used cashews in soup? Okay. So Naomi, you shook your head. How have you used cashews in soup?
Like an
Yeah. Okay. So as a garnish, okay. So cashews are used a lot in vegan cooking, partly because they're a softer and sweeter nut. So, and what they do for a soup, they're added a lot of times to soups to give like a cream. They're like a substitute for a cream. You don't need a lot. And they pretty much get soft in like 15 minutes of boiling. So that's why it's really not, you don't have to soak them overnight. You will see some vegan kind of sauces that they do soak them overnight. But for a soup, you just need to boil it like 15 minutes and then you can actually immersion blend it and it will blend up. So we're going to just add all our ingredients here, the celery, the onions, the cashews, the red pepper. So, and then let's see, about 15 minutes. Let's see, and the asparagus. Okay, there we go. So, okay. So, and the cashews, I have trouble at Hy-Vee getting cashews. I just get them at Walmart or Trader Joe's. Just the raw ones are the best ones to get. So, oh, we have our garlic too. So garlic in there. Let's see, salt, pepper, stir in the red pepper and season with salt and pepper. Yes. Okay, I'm gonna wait on the seasonings till the end there. Okay, so we're just gonna let that boil. So you see how easy that is? We're just gonna boil it, and then at the end, we're gonna add the asparagus, or not asparagus, the dill, and the seasoning, and that's it. We're gonna, we can immersion blend it. You can do a little bit of immersion blending or all of it. But the other cool thing is, this one, you can use broccoli instead too. So, oh, we're gonna add a little bit of pepper. We want a little pepper.
Broccoli instead of the asparagus, is that what you're saying?
Yep. Yep. Especially at the time of year. So we're kind of getting out of asparagus season pretty soon. So, yeah. So broccoli is pretty much all year round.
What kind of vegetable stock is it? It says NAS.
Yeah, no added salt, that stands for. That's the term. So this is unsalted. So we're going to use it in both of them. So if you look at, so great point there, Bernice. When I look at this, it has 160 milligrams of sodium. Now, there's no salt added. Why is there 160 milligrams per cup then? Tell me.
The vegetables are straight up.
Yes. The salt is a mineral that's naturally in the soil and the plants get it from there. So this is okay. So I just want you to know this is no salt added. So
Where did you get that from?
this was from Hy-Vee. So yeah. So both stores, Hy-Vee, Walmart should have no added salt. So
I have a question about your soup.
yeah.
I love making soup, but mine always starts with oil in the pan, sauteing the vegetables before I add it.
Right.
So I can try to cut back on that, but what amount of oil can I use that I'm, like what? I don't know, it's a glove, I do use olive oil.
How many does it serve, would you say?
Oh, probably 10.
Okay.
I
So
can't cook small.
okay, 1 to 2 tablespoons. But I would actually measure it
Okay.
because we're actually going to use some oil for the next soup to
Okay.
do exactly what you just said.
Okay.
So, or pretty much what you just said. So we're gonna saute onion and then the garlic. So this is the brighten your day soup. So yes, so we're gonna use 2 tablespoons. So get that going. And so that's a really good point, Julie. I don't know if I've mentioned before here, we get the oil hot when we're doing that. And again, the extra virgin olive oil, really want to make sure that that's what you're using. And we want to get the oil hot, and then we're going to add the onion and let that cook for 2 to 4 minutes. You don't want to add it to cold just because the oil is part of, like, I can tell from Julie, your cooking experience, you're using the oil as a way to bring out the flavoring in the vegetable. It's not just to soak it up like a sponge. So we want to get the oil a little warmed up before we add. So I'm going to add, this is very quick, these stoves here. So I'm going to add my onions and let that go for a couple minutes, and then I'll add the garlic and be very gentle with that. So, okay, so let's see, we're going to have the other ingredients that we're going to use here are red pepper. That is actually a jar. We're going to use that in 2 recipes tonight. So this is just, you could use fresh, but this is just to show you again, this recipe does, I know it's got this long list here and you might be intimidated by it, but again, look at the ingredients here. This is all the ingredients except for at the end I add spinach. I've got the spinach out here somewhere. Here it is. So, there's not a lot of chopping in there. The onion, which you could do ahead, the garlic, that I would probably do like either the jar or do it with a 10-minute rest. And then the other things are frozen. So I've got, and I'll grab those now. So I made this soup so that it was so easy. I know, again, it's a long list, but we've got sweet potatoes that are frozen. You can get those at Walmart. So we're using a cup of those. And I chose a mix. I like this mix, but anything close to this with carrots, green beans, and peas, something like that. Okay, and a cup and a half of that. Okay, so these are super inexpensive. You can vary them a little if you want to, but sweet potato really adds a nice flavoring where you're adding a cup in there. So you don't have to worry about peeling. So the prep is very minimal. We've got so again, all we're cutting up is the spinach and the onions and garlic. Otherwise, everything's just pretty measure and dump. Okay, so I know it looks intimidating, but once you taste it, you're gonna be like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm gonna do that. So, okay, this is probably pretty close. Thing just goes like crazy. So I know you can't see there, but I've made a well. I've cleared out the bottom hot there, and I'm going to put the garlic in, and I want to give it about 20 seconds. When you're at home, you'll smell it. Here, it's too well ventilated. We're not going to smell it. But
20 seconds is max, because I don't want to burn it, okay? So we're just getting it cooked to bring out the flavoring. And then I'm gonna mix it in so that it lifts it off the pot bottom, the hot. So there we go. So. Are you guys seeing me?
Yeah.
Okay, you guys are, okay, so you guys are, okay. So we're just gonna then, okay, so we've got that. So next we're gonna add, you can smell it, okay. So we're gonna add the seasonings and start everything, just adding everything but the vinegar and spinach, okay. So again, it's just one box of this. It's nice. We have one box for both these. And you can freeze both these, so that's a nice thing. And then we're gonna add our chickpeas and our frozen veggies, our jar red pepper, and those were already chopped. And then we've got our seasonings and a bay leaf there. And let's see, the last thing is, okay, the vinegar and spinach. Okay, yes, I do have the wine, okay. So here it is. So did I already, oh, here it is. It's over, wait, no, that's the wine vinegar. What? Oh, here it is. There it is. Okay. So you don't have to add the wine, but it does add it's just nice. So we're going to add that in, and we are going to boil it so that, again, we're not going to, if you're allergic to alcohol, you would never add this, but it's not going to be anything that you're going to like really taste, but it does add an element to it, a complexity to it.
So on the side.
I would love to, but I don't think so.
Oh, would that be all right with the salmon recipe?
Yes, yeah. So yeah, you could use the Chardonnay for that. So yeah, that's perfectly fine. So we're just gonna let these boil, and we're gonna finish with that. I've got my spinach. Remember with the spinach, how I always put the paper towel in there so that it keeps well. So I'm gonna have that ready. And no, and for a delicate lettuce, which like a spinach, the baby spinach, we want a dry paper towel because the moisture there makes it go bad.
Okay.
And a lot of times when I grab it from Walmart, I'm like, it's already got moisture yet. It's supposed to keep for another week. So when I get home, even if I'm not going to use it that day or the next, I always open it and put the paper towel in there. So, well, you could if you really see a lot of moisture on top. That would be smart to do, Dorothy. Yes. So
If it's taking the spinach out of
When you do that
it,
with the bag, the spinach bag of spinach.
I have done it with a bag of spinach because nowadays we rarely get like fresh spinach like from the farm. We get it like washed and put in the bag. But I would open the bag and put a paper towel on one side at least. Okay. Yeah, because you'll see it gets moist, and that's what's going to make it go bad. You're going to get one that gets moist, rots in a way, and it makes all of them go bad. So now romaine lettuce, which is more robust, we're going to put a damp paper towel around the root of it because it needs the moisture there. Okay, so.
Your soup is that more than a soft boil?
Yeah, it is. Thank you. So we're going to bring that down. Thank you. This goes up really quick. And I think I didn't do my, thank you. I didn't do my no added salt tomatoes there. We're going to add that there. So, and the last ingredient too that we'll wait, I just keep, I want to be careful not to add it, but if you want to, kind of smell this or take a little taste of this, again, you could use just white vinegar if you wanted to, or a rice vinegar, but the white wine vinegar is a nice finish. It's not too expensive, and it lasts like a year at least, so it is a nice thing to hear, but you don't have to. If you want to make it with white vinegar, that's fine. So whoops, there I go, made my mess. So let me add a little more there. We'll finish with that just before we eat. So, okay, so now we got soup recipes. I did use paprika, one of my favorite seasonings, smoked paprika. If you don't have any, you got to I'll put this up here, take a sniff of it because it's really good. It's sweet. Paprika is peppers that have been ground and roasted and oaked and all that. So, okay, cauliflower salad. Let's do that. So where's my cauliflower salad? What's that? Yes, we're going to do cauliflower. So I'm going to show you how to cut up the cauliflower. I better put this over here. docket for sure. So, okay, you guys, I need to do this differently because I want you guys to see me here. So I'm going to show you how to cut. Let me get my discard bowl really quick. Cauliflower, really quickly. It's real easy to cut. So I don't want you, I mean, I don't want you, I know you have to spend some time in the kitchen and you like it, but yeah, you don't need to be spending minutes doing cauliflower. So we're just going to go down the half and then down again. And notice here, we've got that triangle there, that core. You can just take the knife and go skinny to fat, skinny to fat. And now I've got the floret there. So we just do that for all of them. And real quickly, I can have.
I think I've done that years ago.
Yes, I know, it's so easy. Now, if you have a bigger, this is a pretty small side. So, you'll end up with big quarters. A lot of times just coming down. And sometimes when you get a big stem, just taking a triangle cut there, because we don't like tons of stem and a little bit of floret. So you just kind of do a triangle cut here and there to get it off and break, this will break apart then. So that's how you do a cauliflower really quickly. Now I blanched a cauliflower already. So when we blanch, it's a steaming, you can boil, but typically we're going to steam the cauliflower for 5 to 7 minutes. Just get it lightly softened and then put cold water. A couple things happen. First of all, it just makes it slightly tender so it's not as raw. The kind of bitterness subsides a little bit. And also we kill some of the enzymes that make it go bad. So this is why you flash when you have frozen vegetables, they flash, like cook them and then freeze them because they're destroying the enzyme that's going to break down the vegetable so it can't keep very long. So chefs will in restaurants do blanching for vegetables earlier in the day so that all they have to do is real quickly heat them and then serve them. Okay. I mean, this isn't fresh, but they'll put them into their dish really quickly. So it stops the cooking and it, if it's a green vegetable, make it greener. So when we blanch it. So this is something you could do ahead, even a couple days ahead, but we're going to blanch, we blanch that. Let me get my bowl. And we're going to make a sauce. This is a very Greek kind of dish, this cauliflower salad. So the sauce here, I'm going to do in my blender is, again, we're using the jarred red peppers there and parsley, which has a lot of nutrients in it. You don't need to cut it too much because we're going to blend it. So a little bit of mint, a tablespoon of mint. Mint, you just pick off the leaves. Okay, you just run it under water and pick off the leaves and then we'll throw it into the blender. I've got a little bit of the brine from the red pepper. If you do like me and you forget until it's time to do it and you're like, shoot, I just drained all the brine, just use a little water. And then we're going to put a little olive oil. So I'm going to put this in my just very handy dandy, very homey blender here. But you just need a little blender for it because we're going to make a kind of like a green, a darker brownish green sauce that's going to go over the salad. So I'm just going to put this on. It's going to make a big sound. Oops, but I probably should plug it in first. Okay, we might need to shake it up and add a little more water. This is not the most robust blender. Okay, let me add a little more. I think we're going to. I probably went crazy with the parsley. Okay. Sorry guys, it's really loud. Almost there. Okay, that's good enough. So you see, it's kind of a reddish, brownish, greenish all into one. So that's the sauce there. So we're going to add some Kalamata olives. Yum, yum. Anybody love them like I do? These are already chopped up, so we just need to add those in there. So, and I've got some more of the red pepper, so that will add color and flavor. And some of my walnuts there. And what I'm gonna do to make it very Greek is, yeah, I'll show you here's just the Greek non-fat. There's all kinds of brands out there. This isn't a particular one, but it's a non-fat Greek yogurt. So what I'm going to do is grab a bowl and I'm gonna mix. I know you're gonna be like, what? I'm gonna mix the non-fat Greek yogurt with a tablespoon of olive oil. So it's gonna give flavor, it's gonna give good antioxidant there, and it's gonna make it very Mediterranean. So we're gonna mix that in. And then you serve this. Let me show you from a plate here. Can you guys see? Okay, there you can kind of see. Let me move this out here. Here we go. So, okay, so we're gonna, now I have like a long plate. If I had guests, I would put the long plate like that and just put this yogurt on that way. And so we're gonna put this, or you could let guests do their own, but they have to know what to do. So, so we're just gonna put this on the bottom, and then I'm going to scoop. Yeah, that's not gonna work. Like all the time at home, I use cups. So we're gonna put that. I'm gonna add some of the bread there, and then my sauce. So see how that is. So that is a Mediterranean dish. So we've got parsley, red pepper, olives, olive oil, mint, walnuts. So, you know, you can do it different ways, but this is with the Greek, the non-fat Greek yogurt on the bottom is Greek. Yes. Mint, just mint, straight mint. Yes, yes, I used the fresh mint. So, yes. So let me actually make this up a little bit so that you guys can taste it here a little bit more. You could, but it looks nice to pour it once you dish it out. You could, but then it's gonna mix. I knew I've done this before. It looks nicer on this plate. So, so there we go. So you guys are gonna taste that. So time for chocolate. Everybody okay with going to chocolate?
Yeah.
So we're gonna, I have got 8 ounces of chocolate in here, okay? So we're gonna melt them. So we'll start with, I'm gonna put you on assignment to melt that, okay? The acting's like, what? So here you go. Okay, no burning. So, yes.
Stir, I noticed you don't stir.
No, no.
That's fine. Just multitasking.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, these are easy soups. You can't ruin them, okay? So, okay, but we could bring them down. So we could bring, actually, I could probably bring, well, that one will keep up. This one could probably just warm. It's been there for a while. So thank you. Okay, so, chocolate.
Or the other one?
Yeah, I just use Curly, cheap parsley, yep. Yeah, it's chock full of iron and things, so, yep. Yeah, you're right. There's different parsley, different cilantro, but yeah, I just went with the regular, most common one. So, okay, so we're gonna do the amazing chocolate. It's super easy. So we're gonna get Dan's working on the chocolate there. We're gonna, it's just 3 ingredients: chocolate, powdered sugar, and ricotta cheese. So let me grab the ricotta cheese. And we're going to do one with avocado. So now tell me about the differences with the ricotta versus the avocado. Why would we use the avocado? The original recipe is ricotta.
And with dairy.
To avoid dairy, good. Julie, okay. What else?
Good fats.
Super good fats. Yes, Bernice. This is like the highest antioxidant for fats. food that we have in Mother Nature that we know of. So because your fats for your brain especially, your fats actually need a lot of, your brain needs a lot of fats. So when we eat them, a lot of it will go to be used for the brain. But you want it to not, you want it to not be a free radical. You want it to be preserved. So avocado has antioxidants that keep it really good. So, and it's the highest, it's used for oils. I'm not making much sense, but this pairs really well with oils, okay, as an antioxidant. So it's just really chock full. Now it's very high fat. It's got fat in it, and this fat is great for the brain. So, so it is calorically dense. Okay, so avocado is, but it's really super antioxidant, anti-inflammatory. So, well, the recipe there, the equivalent is like 1.5 cups or 2 avocados.
Down at the bottom.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay, I'm sorry.
That's okay. So, no. And you can use like an avocado. Terry, did you use avocado or did you use,
That's right.
okay, awesome.
Avocado.
You used avocado, Terry?
Yes, I did.
Okay,
Avocado.
she did. She used avocado when she made it. She said it was delicious. And she said the Brightener soup was her new favorite soup. So, okay, so we're going to, so we've got all the chocolate here. So I'm just going to use half of it and do ricotta. Or no, I'll do avocado for the first one because we're going to have to use the same food processor.
Category is the avocado under this calorie density foods.
It's high. It's up there out of the green. So,
It's not a vegetable or fruit.
well, yes, I will, but I'm going to use half now. So perfect. So that's a great question because it's considered a fruit, but it's not, I wouldn't put it in the fruit category down there. So, and it's going to take 4 of these avocados, so you can see that, dishes to equate to the ricotta cheese there. So we could use fresh. It's just Terry's good at getting avocados right. I have 2 here, but I'm just not 100% if I open them up, if they're going to be perfect. So I'll open one and show you guys. I do use avocados all the time, but yes, it's a great question. My understanding, here's the lid. An avocado oil as an oil and it's monounsaturated is really good that way. My concern is how it's extracted. So actually I need to plug this in. This is tricky having the computer there. I will follow up with your answer in just a second. So let's see here.
Do you have the powdered sugar in there?
I did. Okay, it's really picky about getting on there. Okay, Dan, I might need your finesse.
It's not be square.
I know, maybe the blade. Hope it's not the blade. I'll let you try. Okay, so answer the question about avocado. Is it, the lid's locked in, isn't it?
Over as it needs to go.
Or the other side.
Well,
It must be your blade.
do I need to take it out and then put it back in? Okay, we're going to work on that. So as far as the question goes, my concern with oils outside of olive oil is a lot of them are processed, they're bleached, deodorized, and chemically extracted. So like grape seed oil sounds really good. It's coming from grape, but it has to be, grape seeds are actually bitter. And so if you were to grind them and get the oil from it, it would be pretty yucky. So what they do, it's actually the grape seeds are they're a kind of a discard part of the grape making process. And so what they've done is they've taken the seeds and used it to make oil, but they have to deodorize it and chemically process it before it can be usable and bland. So my concern with the avocado, I don't know for sure. I'll look into that, Bernice, but my understanding is most all oils, except for olive oil that's mechanically pressed, are chemically processed, all the seed oils. There's a lot of concern with that. So I would minimize. Now, normally avocado oil should be, if it's pressed from the avocado mechanically, it would be wonderful. Okay. So does that help? Okay. Okay. So
What do you use to fry it? I know that it's one to one. If you fry, what do you
yeah.
use it?
Well, if you can't use olive oil, you know, my canola oil would be my go-to, but I do understand that one's chemically processed too, extracted. So there is on the horizon some oils that are processed that are not going to be going through that process. They're not yet available to the public. So hopefully in the future it will be. So minimizing it is, you know, the first thing. You know, there's a saying, the poison is in the dose. So if you're doing it a little bit here and there, it's not really going to add up to. Okay. Yay! We got a sound there. Thank you, Dan. There we go. Okay, so one done. So I probably could have mixed it a little more, but we're gonna go with it. So I think it's probably edible. So it just you know, the 2 tablespoons of sugar. So it's not got too much sugar, a little bit, but really healthy fats and the chocolate. So the fat in chocolates is stearic acid, which is a saturated fat, but amazingly, it doesn't affect your cholesterol, your lipids. So yes. Yes. I wouldn't call it good for you, but it's actually neutral. So it's not like the saturated fat that we're worried about from other sources. So, okay. So you can see it doesn't make a whole bunch, guys. So just a little bit to try it, but taste is magnificent. So I'm going to switch then real quick. And we are out of time, but I'm going to finish making this. So those at home, I just want to finish off by, we've got the gift here. I'll get it to those you guys there virtually. I've got the post assessment. If you can take the post assessment, if you did the pre-assessment, that's great. It'll probably take a week, but I will sit down and compare your pre and post. I'm trying to find ways to document improvement over 4 weeks. It's a tricky kind of thing because I know there's a lot of positive changes that are happening. So, but if in the future I want to get some grant funding and, you know, kind of get the word out about what we're doing here even more so, it requires kind of documenting some of the changes. So if you have ideas too, but that's what the pre and post assessment, and also there's some questions thrown in there from my own practice as to the areas that you want to focus on. Let's see what else. Keep going with your changes. You're always welcome to take a class again, because I know that it gets tough when you're on, you know, when you go home and go to work and you've got an environment, a culture out there that's tough to keep with these changes. It's kind of like, I call it a toxic culture we have right now for a positive lifestyle. So if you want more support, want to learn more, you're more than welcome to come back through the class. Invite a family member, a friend, because, you know, that's part of your community. So also, we always welcome your support in spreading the word, because
a lot of people don't even know that we have these classes. So we need your help in getting it to providers. If you went the next time you go to the doctor, if you can bring the binder and say, hey, I did this and this really helped me. And it was fun and delicious, and, you know, let them know, because we have a lot of providers we're still trying to reach. And then lastly, this class is supported by donations. So the Trinity Foundation supports all the costs. And so there should be an envelope in the back of your binder that you can send in any, you know, denomination donation if you feel like it. You can also make an online donation, but we welcome those. And, you know, so because this is something that we're trying to get out for everybody in the Quad Cities, in the community, and raise the health of the Quad Cities is our mission. So thank you for helping us with our mission. And I'm going to finish making the chocolate with the ricotta, and the ricotta is great. The ricotta, usually, just a tip, usually I do kind of like let it, this one's not too bad, but some of the ricotta is very rocky, kind of, it's got that texture to it. And so if you heat it up a little bit before you blend it, it kind of helps it so that it's a little smoother when the finished result. But it's really nice because it's just 3 ingredients and it's finished. You don't even need to let it set, either the avocado or the ricotta. It's already firm and ready to enjoy. So thank you so much. And we're going to try the soups out and add the spinach and the wine vinegar. And thank you guys. Send your questions. So Terry, awesome. I'm so glad you gotten a lot out of it. Elaine, you too. Thank you guys.